Tambourine, shitty
Quick
boom,
little,
shitty boom.
quick little Matthew Murray dab. We're live.
Tambourine, shitty boom, tambourine.
Do we need intro music for this?
People. You know, intro music would be nice, but we'll probably get demonetized if we have any intro music. That's the problem. That is the problem. Hang on, I'm sharing into the group of all groups.
Guys, welcome to the live stream today. Whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay, hopefully you're on team replay before midnight tonight. If you're watching this after midnight tonight, everything changes. We are going to also announce live on stream what is happening May 1st tomorrow. We haven't talked about it at all. Christian's made some comments in the group that are a little shifty. He's like, I don't know, we're changing it next month. Everything's coming out on this live stream right now. If you want to know what the Seven-Figure University is like, we're going to go through when it was created, why it was created, what it can do for you and your business. We're going to do some screen sharing, the history of it. I want to get into all of it. And I also want to compare like what type of content and support and training you're getting with this, because it's so much above and beyond, in my opinion, anything else that really exists, right? I mean, we talk about like FMO level training and you're like, well, it's actually better than that because most FMOs don't really train, right? So it's the baseline for FMO training is so low that this 100% hurdles the average. There's no doubt in my mind, like way over. So that being said, I would like to start with when you decided to first film a video and you were thinking in your head, this is going into a university for other Medicare agents. When was that moment? Take us through it.
Yeah. So it kind of goes back to the inception a little bit of the Facebook group and the YouTube channel because they're all tied pretty closely together and weren't too far apart. So I started the Facebook group in January of 2020, months before the world stopped. I also created the YouTube channel a month before that. So there's kind of like a domino effect of chain reactions. So I created the YouTube channel first, and I started posting my trainings, not really, no university ever being in sight at this point in time. And I actually, at the time, I had the TRICARE for Life course. Do you remember that? The TRICARE
Veterans course? Yes.
That for $10 at the time. Steal, by the way.
That has to be the number one asked question. Can someone on TRICARE get a Medicare policy?
Yes.
A supplemental Medicare policy. And that question has come up more in the Seven-Figure Medicare Agent Facebook group than arguably any other question in the history of the entire group.
I feel like people are just trolling me at this point. But essentially, kind of so that's kind of where it started. So I created this course, quickly realized I can't talk about this in any other of the groups because it's against the rules. So I created a YouTube channel, created free trainings, wasn't really pitching the course very hard in there. And I started noticing that the groups didn't take too kindly to me sharing my trainings in there. I was like, I'm just trying to give free value. So I created the group in January of 2020 so I could have a place to share my videos. That was the purpose of it. It was designed to be a couple hundred people. And then COVID happened and the whole thing just exploded, right? We got to 1,000 members very quickly. Right. People were searching for information on how to do business over the phone, how to pivot, how to really, know how to survive with, with COVID and everything that's going on. So fast forward, we start bringing on agents on our team, right? At this point in time, we had like 15 agents, contracted agents, compared now to where we have 500. And I was getting absolutely just beat to shit doing one-on-one trainings every single week with these agents. And ultimately, what the birth of the university was I created it as an online training platform for our agents. That was the first purpose of it. Right. And so I started talking about it in the group, and people were like, I've been in the group a short period of time. I love it. I love the energy. It's just so, it's, you share so much helpful information. I love you. I also like my FMO. I don't really want to switch.
Right.
Could we pay you for it? And I was like, I didn't even consider that someone would pay for this. And so we started offering it at the time. It was like $200 or $300 one time for lifetime access. And that's kind of how the university was birthed.
Interesting. That's even a little different than I thought. I think the core of it, though, because even though I wasn't recruiting agents, I ran into the same problem that you had. My book, I have it behind me. I also have a copy right here. I ran into the same problem you had, though, where I was spending so much time answering the same question. That was the core of it, right? I was repetitively teaching or explaining the same thing to agents over and over and over. And I was at the point where my time was limited. I couldn't have the number of conversations that I needed to have any given week or any given day. So I got to the point where I'm like, I want to be able to refer someone to something. I want to be able to say, hey, here's some training. Here's the questions that you have. It's actually here in this book, or it's here in this video course. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a natural progression, right? Like if you're trying to train agents, if you get to that point in this industry where you have a downline, you have an agency, you're selling, marketing, whatever it is that you're doing, I think having something like this for agents to be able to revisit, because that's another thing I think that separates the university apart from a lot of other trainings, is a lot of times you don't get to revisit the training. Maybe it's, a one-time webinar, you don't get access to the replay. Maybe it's an in-person training that happened one time. But having it where you can literally go back and just, over and over, right? Or go to the spot in the video like, oh, wait, what did Christian say here? Mm-hmm. I think is super powerful. So, okay, so we kind of went through, why it was created, when it was created. So fast forward to like what it is today compared to like where it started. What is the university today? Seven-figure university.
It's amazing what it's grown into, right? So of course, now it includes your course, which is a much wider and detailed version of your book,
right.
On selling Medicare products, Medicare supplements, selling final expense, sales training, and so now it includes that course, right? Now it's not just seven-figure Medicare university. Now it's, that the encompassing kind of both programs together. But if we're talking about
just your expansion though, right? Yeah. Like going from that core initial course to what it is, because you're talking about, I don't know, a 15x growth. I mean, it's a huge, a huge growth.
There might have been 30 videos on it when we first launched it. Maybe not even quite that. Exact numbers somewhere between maybe 25 and 30 videos. And ultimately the content was very different than it is today. So rewind 4 years ago in 2020, the systems we were using were different. The products we were selling were probably a little bit different. The strategies we were using are a little bit different. Everything now is better than what we had back then in terms of systems, in terms of processes, in terms of my knowledge, right? As a business owner, all of that has grown. And I think the university has grown with it as a result. And so, what we started doing, we didn't do this the first year of the first couple of years actually of the course, but a couple of years back, maybe a year and a half ago, we started doing weekly training calls for university members. And, that encompassed people that had bought in, that encompassed people that are contracted agents with us and they're getting it for no cost. And we started doing Thursday training calls, and they were a big hit. They're a big hit. People loved them. We stopped doing them during AEP every year just because even if I have the time to do them, I don't want the agents spending time. I don't, but I don't want I don't want the agents spending their time on a training. Like
100%.
You have 10 months to train, you don't need to train. And so essentially 10 months out of the year, we're doing these weekly training calls and putting the recordings on super high level, valuable topics of things we're doing internally into the course. And so now, kind of looking at it today, not only are there hardly any of the videos left from the original course, we've refilmed them, replaced them, taken them out where they're not relevant anymore. There's still one or two in there, and you can kind of spot them. Like if I have hair, that's probably a pretty good indicator. But we've also taken
I have hair in my course too. Now that I think about it, it's weird to look back. I just looked back at it recently. I'm like, oh no. My hair.
But I would say probably 90% of all the videos in there were filmed in the last 15 months.
Again, that's that in and of itself, because the average educational course that might be available to you guys as an agent, most likely it's not being updated. Even if you had access to something like this, that's been my experience in the marketplace, is that most of these courses, if they've been selling it for 5 years, they've got 5-6-year-old videos in that course, and they're just like, hey, maybe it's not relevant, but it's still in there. And how does that really help anybody? I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think it helps anybody. So that's huge.
I think it's kind of lazy, not trying to put anybody on blast or anything, but like
100%.
It's very easy
to
just
have someone in mind too. I don't think it's who you think I'm thinking of, but there's one person in particular that sells paid training to agents, and their content's very old. So
I mean,
be leery.
And the amount of different content in it now, like 7-Figure Medicare University. Did we have the number of videos on it? Isn't it like, I don't remember what we ended up counting.
I think
like
it's 156.
Yeah, that sounds right. So
156.
It actually had more videos itself in it about a year and a half ago. It had probably 200. I took a bunch of them out and condensed to make it easier to go through. And I took out things that I didn't feel like were relevant anymore and were more condensed. So I felt like, that was helpful too. We kind of reorganized it probably about a year ago in that way. And, people ask what's in the course, what's in the training. I don't know if I don't know. Are we going to go?
Yeah, why don't you pull it up? If you want to pull it up so we can screen share it so you guys can actually see in it. I think that helps, because it is a common question that we're getting a lot, you guys, is what's actually in this. Christian just mentioned a moment ago the Thursday training. That's still something that's going on every week.
Yep.
So, that's something that's being added to the university. Plus, you can watch it live, ask questions, interact with Christian, a guest, or myself. So, I mean, that alone, I think, is really powerful. And right now, lifetime access for one payment, no strings attached. You don't need to move your contracts, nothing like that. No other fees, just one payment of $695 today. So it ends at midnight Mountain Standard Time tonight. So that's 11 p.m. Pacific time, my time. So you guys have less than 10 hours now. Less than 10 hours. You can lock down lifetime access. Tomorrow, this will be a monthly subscription. So in order for us to continue to invest our time, energy, and resources into this, and we want to do more with it, just like my entire course catalog just got uploaded into it, you guys, at no additional cost. We want to pour more into this. And so there will be a monthly subscription for this platform starting tomorrow. But if you buy today, you can get it for one payment of $695. So Christian got it pulled up here. Take a look at what this actually looks like and what type of content you're actually getting. I love how Christian structured this for you guys.
Yeah, and we'll kind of go through some of the sections here. We won't go through them all, but we'll go through some sections. So there's an intro section, just a little bit of an introduction to me and the course in general. There's a new agent section. So people always say, is this a good course for new agents? I believe that it is, because it's a course that essentially starts you off as a new agent. So this first section is for new agents. What do I do? Getting my contracts, AHIP and certs, et cetera, Medicare Advantage versus Medicare Supplement, HIPAA, all the stuff, right? Compliance. But the farther you go into it, the more high level it becomes. So there's a CRM section, right? Different CRMs that we've used that we recommend. Medicare Center, and we have trainings, and we have guest trainers on here too, guys. So like we had someone from CSG come on last year who's owned by Integrity Marketing. and do a very high level training on CSG, the platform that most agents don't even know how to use a lot of these.
It's true.
And including myself, I learned some things about it that I didn't know about from CSG.
Right.
We had Jess Adkins with Agent Pipeline come on and do an excellent Medicare Center training. There's lead sources, right? So direct mail, telemarketing, how to do seminars, including an actual recording of a seminar that I did. The file was too big to do it in one video, so we just broke it into two, where it's me doing a seminar for a room full of seniors. And I don't think we have it in here, but we'll
going
to
upload it though.
Yeah,
it should be in here.
But in the previous platform, we had my PowerPoint available, so we'll be putting that in there soon in the next day or two. Yep. Facebook leads, how to run ads. There's a whole section on that. Updated training, by the way. Sales training. How do you actually make a sales call, overcoming objections?
This is a super underrated category, in my opinion. I think a lot of people gloss over the sales training. They're looking for specifics on marketing, or maybe it's a carrier training, but the actual sales training of getting that person to, go from A to Z. I think a lot of people overlook it. That's one of my favorite parts of the course, you guys.
Yeah. And like, as the instructor, as somebody that filmed most of these, it's my favorite videos that I've made. It's the ones that I'm probably, I mean, I'm proud of all of it, but some of these videos are some of the ones I'm the most proud of because I think they're just so high level. And I've sold thousands of policies as an agent, thousands of policies. So these are proven tactics that work. Systems, basically. How do you build websites? If you want to build your own website, a simple one, and maybe delay having to spend 10, 15K on paying somebody to do it.
Right.
We teach how to do that. Automation, right? How do you automate your business as much as possible? How do you mine for referrals? How do you get more referral partners? How do you partner with local businesses? How do you get more referrals out of your clients? All of it there. Marketing. And by the way, we'll write probably 200, 300, 400. I don't know. I'd have to pull the numbers. We'll probably write 200 or 300 new clients at least from referrals this year internally. Marketing. How do you market, right? Google My Business, seminars, postcard marketing, how to dominate your local market, how to build a great brand, how to cross-sell, right? Cancer policies, hospital indemnities, final expense, insurance carrier trainings, how to use their systems, how to check doctors, portals, etc. Growing an agency. There's training with Glenn and myself. There's training on guest trainers. There's a lot in here. There's staffing training. There is setting up a corporation. Everything. There's so much in here. Medicare Advantage sales. How to do it. What do you need? What tools do you need? Yep. Medicare supplement. Same thing. Here's our TRICARE Veterans course that we've updated and kind of added more to it as we go. Medicare knowledge, right? Like, do you know the criteria if someone has IRMA? Do you know how to apply for LIS for somebody? Do you know all about the Medis in the dual market? All of it's here. We're building out more under 65 stuff. Content creation. Do you want to make content like me? It's in here. Exactly what we use.
Another underrated section for sure, in my opinion. A lot of you guys don't even know where to start with creating content. And Christian has just a absolute goldmine of information on that topic alone. So I love that. I love that we were able to just kind of, again, we're literally showing you guys the type of information that's available, what you'll be able to learn in the university. And you don't need to take our word for it by any means. I think if you look in the group, you'll see a plethora of positive comments from people who are already in it. There's hundreds and hundreds of agents who are already in the university. We'll probably be breaking 1,000 university students here within the next month, based on, again, just kind of the growth we've already experienced with the platform and what we're planning on doing with it. So I couldn't be more excited to be able to offer this to you guys for one-time payment of $695 if you purchase today before midnight Mountain Standard Time. The link is in the comments. So if you have any questions about Seven Figure University, or something that you're having an issue signing up, by all means, just drop a comment below this video. We will make sure that we get that question answered, or that we can get you into the course. That being said, Mr. Brindle, what do you think most people are missing out if they don't have some type of training platform like this? What do you think the type of opportunity cost, right? If they go down a path where they don't have access to a training platform like this.
Yeah. By the way, am I coming through clearly still?
Yeah, you froze for a second there, but now you're back.
No. Okay, so I
the
think what
Utah
people
internet is still holding you down, but that's okay.
I think what people are missing out by not being in the platform is just current trends on kind of what's working from a multitude of standpoints, right? Like industry updates, marketing trend updates, different kind of ideas, client retention, how to manage AEP. Like we did a training in the last week or two that was all about what should you be doing now for AEP? What should your timeline from now until AEP
Right.
be? What should you be aware of with the prescription drug? With everything coming with the prescription drug changes, and kind of the disruption that's going to cause, and how we're going to we're going to be planning on handling it internally. It's the long-term aspect of just being plugged into what's going on in your business, right? Like what's going on industry trend wise, what you should be aware of, how to stay compliant, but also how do you grow despite the compliance? So many people train on compliance and they're just like, step here and you'll get struck by lightning. Better not do that. Have fun, little Billy. We teach, okay, don't step here, but step over here. This place is great. You won't actually get struck by lightning over here.
100%.
Marketing, right? Like we do a ton of marketing. We are very savvy marketers internally, both you and I both.
Oh, 100%.
So we teach a lot about how to market your business and how to bring clients to you and everything like that. I think it's just mainly the long-term aspect of it. I think there's probably 101 things that you can get out of it today, but a year from now, what will be in it? That's really what you should be thinking about.
100%. I think the other thing to note too, like on the type of, again, you not only do you have access to the weekly trainings, but then the overall content's being updated all the time. If you're relying on going to an industry conference once a year, or you're hoping that your FMO will get you all the right information all the time, you're taking a gamble. This allows you to stay plugged in year round. So you are getting access to up-to-date information year round, including the live call once a week. So I think that's really, really powerful. Not most agents don't have access to this type of knowledge, training, these types of updates. And as we know from, again, CMS, the final rule that's come out now almost every year for the past 3 years, things are changing all the time. The compliance evolves, carriers disappear, rate changes, benefits change with some of these plans. What works in the marketing space changes all the time. What you used to do a year ago, you're not going to be able to do next year.
Yep.
And so because of that quick evolution, and Christian and I were actually talking about it today, about someone in the industry that we were surprised didn't seem to know what was going on. One of the big players in this space had no idea what was going on with CMS final rule. And we were just talking about how great, we're like, how is this person, like, they're so involved, they have a big company, they do a lot of policies, how do they not know what's going on? And maybe they're just not plugged in. Maybe they're just not getting that type of information. Maybe they just decided they're just going to sit back and, do whatever they want because they think they've made it or whatever. But the reality is, this changes and it can change quickly. So part of the university is we're keeping you guys up to date on what is working, what is allowed, what is the best way to move forward in all of these different topics that Christian covered, right there in the screen share just a moment ago.
Yeah, 100%. And, I think we're crazy to give this away for lifetime ever for any price.
I'm so happy it's over today. I'm so happy. Thank you. This is over. Like, I wish it was midnight already. I'm literally counting down. I'm like, yes, Stop the madness. Stop the madness. No more lifetime. It's done. This is your last day.
And I've known that for a while, right? Like, I just have a soft spot for you agents. You know what I mean? Because I want you guys to be successful. I do. There's nothing that makes me happier than when one of you guys does through one of our trainings. Like, I remember when we did our TRICARE for Life course standalone, there was an agent I knew that took it and wrote like a couple hundred TRICARE members in the next like 12 months. And he just crushed it. He just year round, just like boom, 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 boom. It was like a blue ocean for him. And it totally transformed his business. He got up to like 800 clients in a very short amount of time. And that was a few years ago. And him reaching out to me and just being like, this changed my business. Thank you. Like that was so gratifying for me. And he spent $10, guys. He spent $10. You know what I mean?
Maybe there was an ROI there. I don't know. 100 apps, $10. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe, I don't know. You know.
Maybe.
But like, you know, am I really like jumping up and down for joy? Is it changing my life much to get $10 from him? No. Does it change my life that much to get $600-700?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like $700. No,
no,
that's not a life-changing number.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but we wanted to make this available for as low as possible before we changed it to that way as many of you can get in and take advantage of the platform as possible.
Let's talk about that too, because we're listening to all agents, right? We see the comments in the group. We've also seen some people who reached out to us directly and they're saying, can I get this for less? Can I do $100 now and $500 later? We understand that there's also a lot of us that probably they're just getting started. You can't afford $700, even though it is a great deal for a one-time payment, lifetime access today. Tomorrow, when it changes, why don't we get into that? Why don't we talk about what it looks like starting tomorrow? Because for some agents, I think we're ultimately making it even more affordable depending on how you look at it, right?
Yeah. So like ultimately, I think the lifetime deal is the best deal because it's one and done. Right.
Best value.
There are agents that paid $400 years ago, $500 years ago, $200 years ago, depending on what we were offering it at the time. There's people that paid $1,000 years ago, $2,000 years ago, but they have it forever. So like that is such a phenomenal deal. But if maybe you are strapped for cash, when it changes to month tomorrow, it'll be available for a $77 a month subscription. So 777. 77, yo.
77. You've
and
7.
7 and
7.
And so but it will not be month to month. It'll be every single month recurring, and it'll be a subscription. It'll be like your Netflix subscription. You know, if you drop it, you lose access to it. You stop getting invited to the weekly training calls. And, you know, I think, you know, if you're trying to scrapping for funds, that's a good option because you can get in for a month, and it's probably easier for some people to pay as you go.
If you look at the speed of implementation, right? So again, one sale would potentially pay for access to the university for a whole year once we switch to this subscription model tomorrow. So if you don't have the cash, or from an ROI perspective, if you can literally get access for $77, implement something in the first week, you might be able to pay for the entire first year of service within a week just by implementing one thing that you learned in one video. I mean, when you look at the scale of it, your opportunity to increase your income is enormous if you look at it from an ROI perspective. So I think the $77 a month, which is what's going to happen starting tomorrow, you guys, if you don't get into the lifetime access today, that is how it will be structured moving forward. And I think it's still a really, really great deal, especially for agents who might be, just getting started and you don't have the cash to pony up for a lifetime access today.
Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that's definitely an option. I mean, if you base it off of the month-to-month subscription fee that's going to be starting tomorrow, it's a $924 a year cost to you.
Yep.
Again, though, it's every year, to kind of keep that. And inflation, who knows what happens. No, I'm just kidding.
Cost of living, guys, it keeps going up on us.
my cost of living goes up, guys. Costs me more to live. But no, like I think it's going to be a very fair offer. But again, it's subscription based. It's not
correct.
It's not permanent.
Correct.
It's not permanent, and so I think it's something that's such a great opportunity right now to take advantage of. I mean, I've definitely poured myself and my knowledge into this platform. I've tried to share a tremendous amount about how we've built our company. Our company, I mean, this might be cringy for me to say this, but I just more want to I want to impress upon everybody that's watching, like, Glenn and mine's organization, it's valued as an 8-figure business right now. It's value. The valuation is an 8-figure business, and we didn't get there by accident.
No, it's taken a lot of years of experience. Again, we might not have PhDs in business, but we do have combined almost 20 years of experience in this industry, in these niches that we're all in. And I think that type of experience, when you can actually learn from someone who's been doing it as long as we have, it's hard to put a price on it. Honestly, we've been there, we've done that. We see the questions that come up all the time. We've had to go through it inside the agency ourselves, right? So we've seen it from all sides. So yeah, I don't know how you even put a price on that. I was going to see if I can't pull up my course too. I figured, with a little bit of the time remaining, I could kind of go through it. I'm trying to get logged in right now. Hold, please.
So while you're doing that, this is kind of a change of subject.
Do it.
It might be blasphemous to bring it up, kind of like it might be kind of a what's the word? It might be kind of a cannibalistic.
Cannibalistic. Okay, let's see.
But we have one summit ticket left.
Oh my gosh! It was 2. Last time we talked today, it was 2.
There's one summit ticket left. If you want to go, this is it. You know what I'm saying?
Like one ticket. That's insane.
One ticket, and we are 100% sold out, max capacity, with one more ticket sale.
Wow. Savannah, Georgia. Be there.
People are excited about Savannah, as they should be.
As they should be. That's exciting. I've got it pulled up now, you guys. Let me share my screen. Sweet. Can you see my screen, sir?
I can.
Thank you so much. So again, guys, when you log in initially, you're going to see both courses. So these are both a part of the lifetime access deal today. So you get both courses. It's over 200 videos combined. Again, this is the course that I put together a few years after publishing the book, How to Qualify, Present, and Sell Final Expense and Medicare Supplements to Seniors. I surveyed hundreds of agents. We took about the top 1/3 of responses that we got, successful agents already doing it, selling Medicare, selling final expense, scripting, tips, processes, systems, lead sources. We asked them all sorts of questions. So it's not just my input, but it's also the collective input of the community. And that's been really powerful to have that type of information all in one spot. A lot of it, again, you can jump around. Some of it might be basic. If you've been in the industry for a while, maybe learning about what is Medicare as an example, maybe you don't need to watch that video. But other videos, one of my favorites, I'll show you. Types of leads, I think, is a great one, especially even if you've been doing it for a while. Maybe you're just confused about different ways of marketing or getting in front of people. we went through 7 different ways of getting in front of seniors. So whether you have very little money to spend or you're looking to spend a lot of money to market, that's one of my personal favorite videos. Chapter 3 in general, I think, is one of my favorites. I am biased being a lead vendor, a marketer. But I think there's a lot of value in just that chapter alone. Scripting, huge. Again, when Christian was talking about like the TRICARE VA question coming up over and over and over and over, that ultimately was the start of him putting his university together. This was really the section that initially made me put together this whole book, all the training, is because getting asked so much, Glenn, what do I say to the lead? What should I say when I call back? What do you have an appointment setting script? Do you have a telesales script? So getting into scripting and objections, all of this is, again, super valuable content, especially if you're new and you're not sure what to say. Highly, highly recommend chapter 4. Tips for following up with leads, kind of a part 2 of chapter 4, getting into final expense versus Medicare and some of the details, preventing lapses, obviously chargebacks. If you're a new agent, that can take you out of the industry, right? If you're not ready for a potential chargeback or a policy falling off the book. So how do you prevent that ahead of time? What should you do? Cross-selling, something that I think is super underrated, that every agent should be doing, and maybe 3 to 5% of you guys are actually doing on a reoccurring basis. That's been the information that's been shared with me from some of the biggest FMOs and IMOs in the space. Almost none of you are cross-selling, and it's a damn shame. Honestly, you should be cross-selling all of your clients a variety of different policies. If you have a life health license, why are you not utilizing both sides of the coin? Just the health license alone, you have a huge offering, that different policies that you can offer: cancer, dental, a hospital indemnity. There's so many different supplemental policies that offer value to your clients that not only would increase your commissions, but you're also going to have a higher retention rate. So super important, I think, to cross-sell. Referrals.
So important.
Yeah. Referrals, again, super important. Christian was just talking about how much business we're generating internally in our agency with referrals. No matter how great a lead or marketing system is, you always want these. They're free, right? It's like a layup or a free throw. Like, you want it. you want those coming in. And then chapter 10, some staffing, kind of a wrap up, some of the mind game that you have to do as an agent to stay motivated, and some further training and references. So that's kind of a high level overview of what's in the QPS course, as we call it here internally, how to qualify, present, and sell. And again, that's included at no additional cost. So that entire course that I just went through, plus Christian's 7-figure Medicare Agent University, both of those are included for that one-time payment of $695.
Together. When you're talking about the referrals, what I was thinking about is, like, you can be LeBron and brick free throws. You can get dunks, you can get layups, you can hit the occasional 3, or you can be Steph and be a 95%, free throw shooter.
Yeah.
And still get all those other things,
The singles, we were talking about the other day. You were saying how, singles and doubles can win. You don't win games. You don't have to hit it over the fence. I'm a huge believer in small ball, honestly. When you said that, I'm like, wait a second, that's my idea. You don't even like baseball, do you? You don't even like.
No, I fucking hate baseball.
Shame on you for using a baseball reference with me, who is addicted to baseball. But no, you're absolutely right. I think looking at some of the best baseball teams in the major leagues playing, as they say, small ball, which is just trying to get a single, just trying to get a runner on base, right? Just get in the game, hit the ball and play. When I'm talking to my son, I tell him that all I want is for him to hit the ball in play. Like, even if he gets out, I don't care. At least he's moving forward. He's doing something. He's getting closer to his goal, right?
Forward progress. Yep.
If you go to the plate every time and you're thinking that success is only hitting the ball over the fence, when your statistical probability of doing that is so low. I mean, that would be like going to a final expense appointment and thinking, I'm going to write a $10 million annuity. Maybe it happened. Maybe you write an annuity like once every 100 appointments. But,
Right.
but that's not right. Like, that's not the home run. Like, you're there to write an FE policy. And even if it's a $15 a month policy, right? Get in the game. Get on first base.
Yep.
I love that. I love that analogy so much.
I'll never forget. It was during the COVID year when the Facebook group was in its infancy. People were complaining that like people were shutting them down on getting the primary sale, the MedSup, the Medicare Advantage. They're calling leads. People were complaining in the group, and I can't remember exactly what I did. I want to say I live streamed a couple calls where I was calling. Like I had some direct mail leads that just started coming in because I didn't know it was going to be COVID, and so I'm calling them over the phone, selling them over the phone, and selling dental vision hearing plans when I couldn't get the SUPs or Advantage plans. I'm still getting the dental out of it. I'm still getting the hip plans, the GTL sales out of it. And like that week, I just totally just committed that week into calling these leads. And I made some primary sales, some SUPs, some Advantages, but there were several leads and several calls. That was when I was doing those lead,
the real-time lead?
No, the rating system on the leads, the reviews. You remember that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, like
on the YouTube channel, you guys, you can see that on the YouTube.
Still there.
They're still there.
You can see my numbers.
Yeah.
Like closing super high percentages of some of these too. By the way, like 30-40% on some of these orders. Yeah. It was insane.
Yeah.
But I was going through, and like when I couldn't get the primary sale, I was pivoting to the smaller sale. And a lot of times they'd have a need for the dental vision hearing. They have a need for the hip plan. They have a need for the cancer plan because the agent before didn't bring it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just such a huge thing. And as much as it is talked about, it's still not talked about enough.
The cross-selling. I mean, and I was thinking too, as you were telling that story, Galen Hendricks, I remember her story when the pandemic hit. And obviously the first couple months, nobody knew what was going to happen, where this whole thing was going. There was talk about, carriers having to close their doors.
Yeah.
Because not being able, like health insurance carriers, if there was this huge increase in, I'm blanking on the word right now, claims, huge increase in claims. Whether it's death claims for life insurance companies or health insurance claims, people in the hospital that normally wouldn't be in the hospital. People were talking about these insurance carriers just going bankrupt essentially. And so there was so much fear. Galen Hendricks, shout out to the queen of Medicare, Medicare mama, queen of the bundle. She went through and she said, hey guys, we need to go back through our book of business. And everyone that's already a client, we need to talk to them about cancer policies. And I believe dental vision hearing, I think that was really the two. Or was it really just cancer? I think cancer was maybe the primary one she led with. But they absolutely crushed it. Yeah, but just crushed it with ancillary products, no marketing dollars, only going after essentially internal referrals and cross-selling other policies. That type of information is invaluable. And during an uncertain time period, they were able to generate an incredible amount of business. And that's the type of information that we have in the university for you guys, is how to cross-sell. How do you get referrals, drip marketing? I mean, just an incredible amount of information. It really is. And I can't wait for the lifetime access to be over. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It took 5 months. Almost 4 months, 4 full months of me merging into this. I'm like, no.
We're negotiating the merger. We're going back and forth on terms like, so lifetime university access, huh? Is that something we're married to? And I'm like, oh, these poor agents, poor little Billy, poor little Billy.
No,
It's
Hard
okay,
line
little
on
Billy.
zero.
It's okay, little Billy.
It's okay. We are excited about the future with the university, you guys, being able to continue to offer this type of support. I mean, if let's talk about the final rule where everyone for a moment there thought FMO support could no longer be monetized essentially through overrides, right?
Yep.
What imagine an apocalyptic scenario where let's say that did happen, right? That's not what the final rule ended up being. We already went through this ad nauseum. I don't feel like we need to even talk about it again right now. But
This is turning into
hypothetically,
final rule.
I know. Hypothetically, let's say that happened. FMOs no longer are getting paid to support agents, right? So therefore, they're not going to support you. They're not going to spend their time, energy, and money to support you because they're not getting anything in return. Where do you go? Where do you get that type of training and access to information? You know, this is a solution that will always be available to you guys, no matter what happens with CMS or final rule or overrides or you don't get this extra compensation, whatever it is. This will always be available, no contracts required, and I absolutely love that. I think it's huge.
Yep. What more can we say, guys?
I don't know.
I mean, this is
Drop the mic.
this is a great opportunity. And yeah, I mean, it's not going to come back. It's not going to come back again. We've offered it only a couple times ever at this price point, and it is such a ridiculous price point.
It is.
It is just to the point where it's just like, and now that Glenn's course is included in it, it's even more ridiculous. So like,
it's even more ridiculous.
Prior to this, 7-figure Medicare U was $5K for lifetime access, and Glenn's course was $1K. So you're basically going from $6K down to less than $700 for both for lifetime access. Like, that's bananas to me. That's like you factor that in together. You can factor in together. That's over 90% discount or something. I'd have to figure that out.
Your cost per video is like $3. So like for the cost, you get niche specific training from someone who's been in the industry for more than a decade for the cost of one coffee. You can pull up any training you want,
and has had high levels of success.
High levels of success, networking with people who are highly successful, right? I mean, Christian and I both individually have had a lot of success. We've had a lot of success together, but we're also huge believers in the power of our network. Mm-hmm. And we network with individuals that are, 10, 20 times our size even. And we're getting information from them on what they're doing. And we're figuring out how we can implement that into our business and into trainings for you guys. I mean, that's just the power of what we've built.
Yep. Yeah, guys, link should be in the description on any place you're watching this. So highly recommend checking it out. And yeah, we got, what else is there to say?
I don't know. I'm excited though for the 7-figure summit, guys. It's coming up. If you didn't already buy a ticket, sorry, you're probably not going to be there.
Yeah. It's too bad. Unless
maybe we need to hire a bouncer in case someone tries to sneak in this year. We might have people sneaking in. That's how popular this event is.
If you didn't hear earlier, there's one ticket left. I'm not bullshitting you. If I go into the event, I'm in the event thing right now. There's some information I don't want all of you to see. That's why I'm not turning it around. But it says 100% sold out. Even though it's not, we have one ticket left. But it's so close to sold out that the Eventbrite's like, we're close enough, 100%. Even though we're not.
Crazy.
So there's one more ticket left, guys. They were kind of flying off today. We had 7 tickets left when we started the day today. 6 went out the door today.
Wow.
6. So there's one left. If you want to go, you want to be that lucky somebody. There is no more.
What you should do is you should mark it sold, and then we do a live auction in the group. and we make people bid on the last ticket. Starting bid $20. See what happens. See how high it goes.
Yeah. That would get absolutely out of control. Last comment gets the last ticket.
Last You guys have been animals about these last comment
animals.
videos.
Yes. Yeah, and we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys for participating.
It makes us want to do more too. That's the thing. When we see you participate like that, we're like, oh, we need to do more of these. So if we had more tickets, we would do one, right? If we had 100 tickets left, I would be happy to give one away.
Yeah.
But we don't have them to give away.
It's like, they make a fancy sports car and there's like 5 made in the whole world. There's one Summit ticket in the whole world left available.
It's the Babe Ruth signed baseball card.
Yeah.
They don't have another one of these. It's all that's left.
You would have to fight a current ticket holder and take their ticket off of there as a prize to get a ticket. And we still wouldn't honor it because it's not in your name. We still wouldn't let you in because it's not in your name.
I paid $1,000 for this ticket.
Not in your name.
What if there's someone out front scalping tickets? They're like, $2,000, I'll get you in. Got a ticket right here, $2,000. What if people start scalping in the group? That would be nuts. I'm here for it. If someone
will allow it.
If someone wants to resell at a profit because there's such a high demand for the 7-figure summit, I will allow it. Christian already said he'll allow it. So I guess let the games begin if that's where this is going. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
I think once this ticket's sold, the only chance you have of getting a ticket is if somebody can't make it and they're going to have to resell. You know, that's going to be, and there's no guarantee. And there's been a couple of those, family of the situations pop up, but people have been able to resell those tickets. Yep. And so, yeah, I mean, truthfully, I know that this is not a Summit stream, but I just looked down at my screen and there was one ticket left. I was like, what? I was like, is that right? Is that right? There's one.
That's crazy. I'm excited. It gets me super excited for June, you guys. That being said, I think this might be a good spot to wrap up. So final thoughts, Mr. Brindle, on 7-Figure University and our final day of the 85% off lifetime access.
Yes. Guys, I try to overpromise and overdeliver with these kind of things. I think we really put our all into this program. I don't think you'll be disappointed. We have so many people that have used it and had good success with it, and I'm proud of that. I love seeing that. That just is very awesome for me to be able to see that the work that's gone into it has translated into helping people in their careers and growing their business. It's ultimately what it's for. And we're going to continuously try to make it better all the time. And, we believe that it is a very good investment. And, of course, I'm a biased party, so take what I have to say with a grain of salt. But I do think that, there is no training platform quite like it out there in the space. I think that there's so much we give away, stuff that we probably don't want people to know about, right? Like there's things that like we're doing that we give away in there. I'm like, I kind of don't want everyone to do this. Like, for example, I went and spoke at the Agency Block conference in Atlanta.
Yes.
And I basically gave blueprint, step by step, how to build a YouTube channel and get attention on YouTube. And like people came up to me afterward and they were like talking to me about it. And I'd made comments several times. I'm like, well, I don't really want anyone to do it. And they look at me like, I'm like, well, it's not going to work as well for me if all you motherfuckers do it. You know what I mean? But I'm still providing value because that's what is important to me, is bringing value. And sometimes bringing value is sharing the real nuts and potatoes. Sometimes when people do trainings, they're sharing things that used to work or like is common knowledge or anything like that. And they're not sharing the real stuff that they're doing because they don't want you to know, because they don't want it to water down on themselves. And I get that. But we try to provide great value, so that's kind of my final thoughts. And just like, we feel like you won't be disappointed, and we sincerely hope that you get a lot of value out of it.
I think that out of all the different promotions I've done, you guys, over the years for agents, I've done a lot on the leads and marketing side. I've done some on the virtual assistant side. We've done, promos, some content related promos. From a value perspective, I think this is one of the highest level of value promotions I've ever been a part of in my career in the industry. Because again, we just talked about the numbers. For the cost of about $3 a video,
Ridiculous.
you're getting access to over 200 videos that are niche specific training, university that you can access again over and over and over. You can go to any specific video or course section that you want, watch that video, implement it, and all you really have to do is make one additional sale from something in this entire course, and it pays for itself already. Yep. So from a value perspective, I don't know what else we could do. I don't know. Like if someone were to come back and be like, "Hey, I didn't get value out of this," I'd be like, "I don't know what else we could have done." Honestly, the insane amount of value.
And truthfully, like we've really never had anybody that's bought into it that I can recall that has come back and given that feedback. And truthfully, if we have, I would say so. We had one person one time ask for a refund before they had ever even gotten into it. They bought it within 5 minutes of buying it, asked for a refund because they thought they were buying like an online book or like an online curriculum or something, and they didn't like watching videos. I'm like, what? Like, wait, you
2024.
I'm like, this is a book. I'm like, you thought this was a book, but then that person, we told her we'd give her a refund. She said, well, let me give it a try. And she went back in and we never heard back from her on that specific issue again.
Right.
That's the only refund request we ever got that I can remember. So the satisfaction rate is really high.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, my perspective as an outsider before we merged, I was under the impression that maybe that one person that you talked about out of hundreds and hundreds of people. So, I mean, you're talking about like a 0.001% negative response to the university. And again, if you search the group, you guys, you will see comment after comment after comment of real agents sharing their experience with the university. Again, you don't have to take our word for it by any means. See what other agents are saying about Seven Figure University. Feel free to search right there in the group. You'll see it pop up. Yeah. I have yet to see a single negative comment about what the university is and what content's being provided inside the university. So I think that alone speaks volumes. We live in an age today where if you put out something that's a poor product or a poor service, it's pretty easy to see when those comments start popping up. So if you're literally not seeing a single comment that's negative, probably a good situation, probably some good content. So yeah, that's my final thoughts. I think huge opportunity. Again, you guys have till midnight tonight, Mountain Standard Time. That's 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Lifetime access to the Seven Figure Medicare Agent University that Christian has put together. My course, How to Qualify, Present, and Sell Medicare Supplements and Final Expense to Seniors. Over 200 videos combined. Hours and hours and hours and hours of content for you guys to be able to revisit.
Yep.
sevenfigureu.com. Link should be either below or above my head, depending on where you're watching this. That's it. That's my final thought.
I love it. Thanks, guys. Comment hashtag Team Replay, and we'll see you guys next time. Later, everybody. Get that loud.